And
And mm.
she does confirm that she is Maid Maleen. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she is like,
that would
yeah.
that would be a disappointing story if the whole time that she was actually the Maid Maleen servant, and Maid Maleen had actually died, in the tower or something like that, or
Yeah,
some kind of it just keeps going until the
yeah,
prince like
yeah. And the ugly princess gets her head chopped off.
yeah, they weren't playing around with that. The false bride was rewarded for what she had done by having her head cut off. I guess that is a pretty big deal. I mean, with like political, with marriages and things.
Mm.
But yeah, there's some notable things about this story. When they made Maline and her servant girl come out of the tower, the fact that the whole land has been destroyed. Like, I don't feel like I've seen that in one of these stories before, or maybe in any type of fairy tale,
Mm.
like a slaughter. It's mostly sort of seems like they exist in these timeless kinds of things, but this is like a political, historical kind of a more realistic kind of setting. Although
Yeah,
in a mythical type of in the tower for 7 years with 7 years worth of food and
mm.
everything. That was the mythical kind of touch.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I think when I heard the other stories, there's at least some kind of reconciliation with the king or something. But her dad just kind of disappeared in the story, never
Yeah,
to be heard from again.
yeah. Although there's other stories where there's like a kind of forceful, mean, somewhat evil father,
Mm.
and he disappears. Like, I can't remember what story we read before, but the girl without hands, remember? I mean, her Miller
Mhm.
father just kind of disappears afterwards, right?
Mm.
He's never heard from again. But yeah, in this story too. Yeah. But even more noteworthy is the fact that, I mean, these are princes and kings, and the king at the beginning of the story that's trying to force Maid Maleen into a politically, fortuitous marriage. I mean, that's the way they generally did things.
Mm.
And it's interesting here that two political marriages are thwarted, and the young beautiful people end up getting to marry who they loved, the one they loved. But they really earned it.
Mm.
Like, I guess you could say, I mean, Maid Maleen earned it from her, her trials, her 7 years of difficulty, and she had to escape, and she escaped without the prince's help. Interesting.
Mhm.
Um, and the prince had to not be deceived. He was uh he had several opportunities of being deceived, and he passed all of them.
Mm.
Although the ugly princess, I mean, she wasn't really like exactly very conniving or anything. Like, she sort of
Mm.
just like uh she's like as unsubtle as you can get.
Yeah.
She just basically tries to, threaten Maid Maleen with death, and that's how she'll
Mm.